Yo. Well, walk with me. Yeah. All right. Well, it's just starting to get kind of therapeutic. That's all. I said I'm not trying to make these videos. Not like that. That's not the goal. That wasn't the intent. Well, but hey, stuff changes, I guess. Stuff changes. I was thinking about something and I wanted to run it past y'all. Because hopefully the YouTube magical algorithm leads me to like 7 people that might kind of vibe with it. But that's okay. That's not the point. It's just kind of funny to me. All right, the other night I said something, right? And y'all know I'm support and service heavy, right? I lead with that. I lead with maintenance, you know what I'm saying, on other people. Not necessarily myself all the time. That's another video, I guess. But man, I'm doing my walk again, y'all. Walk with me. We picking up the pace tonight a little bit, so if y'all walking too, pick up the pace a little bit. Let's do this. So it's like, when I think about like people that I love and care for, or just people, really like the people sort of more like that also lead with service and support, we tend to jump into issues or concerns or topics and not necessarily like the popular topics, right? We might not be up on the latest thing all the time, but it's more like the things that we feel like maybe we have the power to address for good, or at least to help maintain somebody or something else from dropping. And so those types of folks, right? And that like we tend to give like pour. Like, we all have energy. We got it. We got whatever we got. Sorry about that. And whatever it is that we got, we tend to pour hard and immerse ourselves, like envelop ourselves. Think about that. Right? So that type of person, that's who I'm talking about. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's for us and we see gain, sometimes we see nothing, right? Just the law of averages, or something like that, right? And we know that in a way we shouldn't all the time. And we've been told that we shouldn't all the time, right? But this isn't a thing that only we know about. People know that this is how we go. Like, this is how we going to address the thing. This is how we going to see injustice. This is how we going to see a need, a lack, right? We're going to come up with a solution. And it's going to be so thorough, it's almost going to sound like a full plan to everybody else. Like, dang, you put it together. If we agree, that's the go button. But in real life, to us, it's like, no, we just don't stand by with this. What are you talking about, go button? That we always primed up for this type of stuff. The button, like, we already going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in go now. The go button, the go button for us is the always button. We always ready to be like, all right, where am I needed? So that person, right? If you resonate, and I'm trying to weed everybody out and also include everybody, because we all got some give in us, and I know that. But I'm really talking to those people where those people that might find yourself at sort of critical mass, sort of from all the giving. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, immediately I go into that mode, like, all right, what's the solution then? How do we, okay, so what now? Well, how do we calculate? We got to define. So, okay, well, how do we like measure our energy? And it's like, okay, well, let's just picture it. Let's just picture it as if we have whatever big old jug we're used to seeing from a kid that had like the Kool-Aid, or, whatever that image is that you associate with full. Like, yes, I'm 8 years old and I opened the fridge on a Saturday. I just got done playing with the homie from down the street. We thirsty, and I opened the fridge and we got a brand new unopened frosty jug of, come on, you got one. And if you don't have a good imagination like that, just like a gallon of milk. How about that? So we all have a gallon of milk, and we can refill it. Sometimes we can refill it faster ourselves. Sometimes other people help refill it, right? We can replenish that energy in most cases, in stable cases, right? And we take that jug when we find something we think we want to get into, or whatever the case, for help, for self, or whatever. But we're good at absorbing these things. So it's like, well, look, let's make this quick. Let's make this quick. Because really, some of us going to be like over it in a couple days. So let's really get this onboarding done with so I can enjoy the fruits. And we pour all of ourselves, because we know we're going to pick up on it faster, and we will. But a lot of times we can find ourselves in places when we pour ourselves, like in a place we don't need to have been poured, really. And we've put a lot of ourselves into it. And this can be over a week or a decade, longer maybe, right? Time is not the thing here. Energy's the thing. And so you realize, man, I still like pouring myself. And then people come and say, well, like when you take this to people, they go, well, why do you give so much, right? They go, why do you tend to give so much, right? And the way we hear it, because of our hearts, it sounds like a little bit of almost a dig, a fair question, right? But a dig a little bit like duh, why would you do that, right? But it's not really like that. That's us. That's us, because we're trying to find out what's wrong with it anyway, and we're going to latch on to the first thing that's going to help us figure it out. And so we hear it like that, like, man, why do you give so much? Like, let's start there. Don't give so much. And it's like, well, what we hear is stop doing the action of giving so much. Stop the occurrence of your giving so much. The recurrence, right? Stop that. Stop. Or stop, don't do it as much. Sorry. No, man. We walking. We make another round. All right. And it's not that. It's not like stop it or lessen that. It's like your nature is to pour and experience so you can have a different kind of perspective about the world. That's already you. So you have to put your feelers out. You got to put your antenna out. That's how you build. Okay. It's going to bite, it's going to sting, it's going to burn. But you got a bunch of antennas. And we seem to be still alive, right? So, okie doke. Y'all, those folks. What's up? What's that? Y'all, I feel close to God when I'm out here walking at night, man. You know? All right. And those people, like, my message is, yes, do it then pour. Nobody, how about this? How about we're not trying to calculate when the last time we poured, and should we pour again? Let's talk about when we pour, how do we pour? Let's take some pour etiquette. Let's have some pour tact about it. Yeah. Let's do a little bit. Let's be cool with it. Don't pour. Like, remember your jug, remember that big old jug has that small little opening? It's not meant to empty out the whole thing in one pour. That would be horrible marketing, right? For the masses. You know, if you want one of those, go up to the Pizza Hut, ask them for one of those little, or the Olive Garden, get you a little water pitcher. You know, got a little ice strainer on the top, you set. But for the masses, a gallon of milk, you think you're gonna pour that out quick? You think you should? No. Do that with your heart. Do that with your spirit, or whatever it is that you tend to give when you give. So much, whatever it is that's missing that you sort of got to reclaim every time you notice you've given. Because we're going to overshare and hope that the person listening is going to take as much as they can from it, and they probably end up taking nothing. You know what I mean? When we think it's so important. I'm talking to those folks that feel bad about it, but still going. You know what I mean? And when they realize they do it, feel vindicated that other people do it. Like, oh, not that it makes it any better, but oh, I'm not the only one that's operating. All right. Drip drop is what I'm saying. Y'all, again, if y'all still with me at 11:54, if y'all just vibing with me and just kind of put me on and just kind of like wash some dishes maybe and do a little virtual walk or something, I don't know. I hope I'm not irritating, but listen, I just got stuff to say, and this is one thing to say. Stop pouring so much. Continue to pour whenever you want to. You're gonna have enough, right? You're gonna be able to replenish that little amount you poured. Right? You might have to recalibrate. You might get it wrong. But you gotta stop pouring. Drip drop. Fill up a little glass juice. Oh, a little juice cup. Right? Try a little shot glass. Right? Try a little shot glass. Maybe even half a shot. Don't double shot yet. Just yeah. Like a ping pong size, if you want it in solid 3D form, a resilient form, right? If you prefer a resilient form. Hey, I don't know, I'm silly. When I get comfortable, I'm very silly, y'all. All right, so let's have a good time. That's it. Listen, just control your pour. That's the whole thing. It took me 13 minutes to tell y'all. Control your pour. Control it and watch it. And watch and see how... Listen, you got to understand. You got to pour just a little bit, a little sample taste, like a Costco taste. Like a Sam's Club little taste. No. And see how it fits your shape. See really how you fit its shape. Because when you pour yourself, all right, you pouring from your shape. You make that shape. You know what I'm saying? You working on yourself. You can figure out your shapes, your sides and your stuff, right? Because you've been taking care of them. You've been checking in on yourselves, right? And so you know what you have, right? You're pretty aware. So you know how you shaped. You know how much it is. You know sort of how much you got to refill and what rate it's going to refill on a normal day, right? We know these things. We feel it. So we know the shape of us. We pour ourselves into another shape, not knowing what that shape is, not knowing what that shape is, how deep that shape might be, how shallow that shape might be. You know, you might make a mess pouring into the wrong thing, right? Think about it. You do a heavy pour into a petri dish in science class. Guess who in trouble? Right? Right? Guess who getting laughed at? right? So just a little bit. You might have to adjust your nozzle too. You might have to put a pour restrictor on there. So maybe some mechanisms to help you identify how much you pouring and regulate that. You might want to do some looking into that. I think I will too. How to regulate my pour. Because if I want to pour hard, I still want to be able to pour hard. Like I want to be able to empty contents when I find the right thing. But we're not gonna know the right thing unless we just kind of take a little shot, give a little shot, I would say. Figure out what the shape is of what we're pouring ourselves into and try a little bit more. Because you know, sometimes the bottom of the glass ain't shaped like the top of the glass. Oop. Oop. Somebody said I said a word, I guess, maybe. Some sirens. I'm sad, it's getting cool out. And it's less crickets. I don't hear the little frogs. It's gonna be pretty though in a minute. We're gonna be walking in these fall colors. Anywho, I hope y'all cool. I hope y'all had a great day or a real day. Hey, look, I hope you have the ability to recognize the reality of your day and that you're not blindly walking through, because a lot of us are or have been. So maybe all that is to say, like, you still here. Yeah, you still here. Okay, just a reminder, because nobody probably reminds you, and that's okay. Right? Nobody probably reminds them. So it's on us to remind us. So, and that's okay. So you are still here. So just know that. Know I'm thinking about you wherever you are. And if that means something, that's one. That's the whole point of all of this. Man, look at that. Tell me. All right, y'all. Yeah, y'all go ahead. Watch your pour. Do some work. Help yourself. Because you help yourself best, don't you? All right, go ahead.